Hello Mr. Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. Today I have two replays for you in the Chinese medium tank, the 121. The first map we have two enemy fun police here on Pilsen and one enemy light tank. It is the encounter battle, which can get a little bit stale, I must admit, on this map. With a lot of people would, it's just the way the map's designed. From this spawn, we've actually got the hill. The enemy team has to try and push up the other side. It just kind of encourages a bit of camping play style, so it can be a little bit awkward to get into the damage. But initially we tried to get to a position here just in case anyone decides to poke up, go for the courtyard, and then we will have a few cross shots in until we kind of try and work out where it's best to play. But as I said, a lot of our team is going to be on the ridge. We've got two fun police, so no one's really pushing up. So I'm just trying to, find out the angle of, where we're going to attack. This gun, this tank basically has 440 alpha. It's a quick little medium, and the DPM on this tank is fantastic. If you can get the gun slinging and getting those shots in, you can pick up damage in no time. Because I think you only have around like 7-second reload for 440 alpha, so you can get a lot of damage in. Now I'm going to cross here because I'm trying to get into the action. You said I'm already just getting a little bit bored of trying to work out what to do, and then as I do that, I take a risky cross as well, and the Shaggy 100 is there, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go, here's 1,000 hit points gone. But thankfully we get across and we managed to get a shot into that leopard. And finally, we've been able to find a little bit of action to try and actually start battling, getting a few shots in. It does actually have, for a Chinese medium tank with, with a decent turret, it does have, reasonable armour, but, it is a medium tank, reasonable armour for a medium tank. And you do actually have 7 degrees of under pressure now over the side of the tank. So it's not a tank I've played a lot of, I must be honest, and I started to pick it up recently, get a few games in it. And I've really enjoyed it. As I say, at the moment, I'm just literally trying to find shots. This light tank does come round. We're able to get shots in. We should be able to at least get 2 shots into this light tank now because of the good reload and really put the punish in there, which we do, putting this on to 1,300 damage, and the light tank gets shut down by our friendly tortoise. We do have support of 1 light tank with us and 1 heavy tank, a few TDs covering from the ridge line. And we do also have the support of the fun police. So we're going to get, keep these tanks spotted as we get a nice shot there into standard B. We potentially can pick up some assistance, but whatever assistance we do get at the moment is likely to be shared with our tanks, which are also with us. And yeah, it's a reasonably close game. We are 2 tanks up, but that could change very quickly. Still very early in the game. And it can be quite, like I say, this Pilsen map can be awkward in this encounter. So just to try and get into damage, because I don't have that much support here. A light tank is almost dead, and it's awkward to just push round when you've got things like the Turan, potentially covering these tanks. We get a nice shot into Centurion as he pushes round, and those 60p starts to get a little bit like they might say might make the push. I've got to be careful that the TDs don't try and flank, but we are being covered by a TD at the moment, so they should take punish if they do that. We get a nice shot there into the 60 TP as he looks to try and kill our friendly heavy tank. Our friendly heavy tank has pushed up now and started to engage them, so I want to be in a position that if they do fall overextend to get shots into our heavy tank now, we'll be able to get shots in, as I did with that 60 TP. Maybe get a shot into track, so we can keep them tracked between us and we can get some nice damage in. Unfortunately, I missed that shot on the 780. So we're back on reload now. The 60p is going to come around again. We want to get a shot into the track, we do, but they repair the track and manage to get back into cover, and they do take out our friendly 5A with us now, which kind of leaves me a little bit by myself. I do have the support of the fun police, but if they were all to push around on me at the same time now, I am in a little bit of an awkward situation. So I want to try and make sure my gun is, firing as much as possible to damage them, so if they do full send me, that they're not actually on full health. And you can see our spots are a small mini map at the moment because I'm keeping an eye out for those 2 TDs on the right. if they end up pushing round on me at the same time, I'm going to be trapped in a really not a great situation as that TD looks to start to make his approach. So now I know the terrain's not on here on the left. I'm going to move round to try and get some shots in while the enemy team are distracted. We get one into the back of the 780, putting them on a 2-shot to us, and then we try and pull round to bait him round. Unfortunately, the Fun Police, as you see, is playing this side currently. I can't get shots into them at the moment because they're too low behind the ridge, but the Fun Police can get shots on me, which is not ideal. I try and get one for the lower plate in 780. Unfortunately, I probably should have waited. You can't really get a shot through the drive wheel on that tank because there's nothing to shoot. And the 780 does come round, but we do manage to get one into them. But then we get slapped by the TD, which is what I was afraid of, catching us off guard there. Now putting us onto a one-shot to the tanks in front of us, which is not far from ideal. We've got 4,300 damage, 1,500 assistance. And this game is still very close. It's actually gone that the enemy team are now one tank up. It's 9 versus 8. I'm hoping our friendly TDs, Thankyou, has come in to help me, and this E4 gets shut down by our friendly Fun Police, so at least we don't have to worry about that angle. But the enemy Fun Police, as you see, was detected, was targeting me, so I've come back round to cover to protect myself from the Fun Police, basically, because if they it could easily take me out of the game now if I'm not careful, and we don't really want to throw away this game. It's been hard to properly get into a fight on Pilsen, but we managed to get 4,000 damage out. Our friendly Badger is now pushing round, so I thought, we're going to push round. Their Fun Police is lit. Hopefully our Fun Police tries to take them out, because it is quite a lot of hit points if you do, and that would at least free up me to be able to move round this side. I'm going to push round now because we have started to take the lead a little bit. It's now 8 versus 5, and that 780 has been taken out, which was around this corner, and I believe the 60 TP has also been taken out. So we now know that we can push round and try and get ourselves to the other side of the map where the remaining of the damage is. I'm pretty sure the Fun Police has left and fled this location, but I want to try and just double check that it wasn't down in K1. Just in case, because if they was down there, we want to make sure we take them out before we leave, because it's more hit points. We don't want to be getting shot as we're escaping, but that's not happened. It has fled, so he must have gone round here somewhere. I'm just trying to move really to get to where the damage is. I'm kind of thinking the Fun Police might be all the way around like A1, but at the moment I haven't spotted them. I'm just going to try and flank round. There's only 4 tanks remaining, and I just want to try and get as much damage left out of this game as possible. But as I come round this corner, I do actually get detected, and as I come round, it was perfect timing because the Fun Police just shot. So now we know we have got the kill on this, and we should be able to farm a little bit of damage off of the increased hit points of the artillery. And there we go, we take them out, putting us onto 7 versus 2. We've got 5,500 damage, 1,500 assistance. I wasn't thinking this Tortoise was going to be looking at this way. I thought he might have been looking at our enemy heavy tanks, but they are. He is looking at us, and these little. It's an awkward shot because of those sort of pylons there in the way, and we also have an almost full health object 79E coming round on us. So now we're in a kind of awkward situation. We're trying to get a shot into the cupola of the Tortoise. We successfully do that, but we eat one in return, and now that has really put us onto a one shot for sure against that object heavy tank, and it is kind of awkward. So I'm having to push around here. Unfortunately, I have the heat loaded and I can't shoot through that that destructible cover, but I also want to kind of keep it there because it's blocking line of sight to me at the moment towards that Tortoise, preventing them from getting spotted by them. And I don't want to be lit because I don't want this object 79E to sort of full send round on me. I need support from my teammates. I'm going to look now because I'm thinking the Tortoise probably won't be looking at me, and I think I might have a time to to finish him off. It is a one shot, but I do get the kill. But he turns just in time to do an auto aim snapshot onto us. Thankfully for me, obviously when you auto aim, it goes centre mass of the tank, and at that point that was my turret. And thankfully I bounced that shot. And now this object 79E is distracted. It's all about just getting as many shots in as you can. And this is a scenario where you can see you can suddenly rack up a lot of damage very quickly. So that's putting us on 7,400 damage. He's only 2 hit points left. I'm trying to get over there, but he gets taken out before I can pick up the kill. But that does bring us an end to replay number 1. So let's get to the scoreboard before we move on for the final replay. Picking up 2 kills, 7,400 damage, 1,500 assistance. We get the high caliber and we get the first class. But yeah, that's it for replay number 1. So I'll see you in a bit for the second replay. Okay, so welcome back for the final replay of the video here on El Alamein Encounter Battle. There is no enemy Fun Police and also no enemy light tanks in this lobby, which is nice because it's obviously a big map, and especially having no light tank as well means we've got a lot bigger chance of outspotting tanks and using our mobility to our advantage on this map. So having said that, as there is no light tanks, we are going to push quite aggressively at the start because a lot of the enemy team probably, you can see where they're spawned. It's going to take them a little bit longer to get into the fight. It's most likely that the majority of the enemy team is going to push sort of north, basically at the top of the map. You can see where they are because that's where they spawn. So a lot of tanks are going to go that way. But you would expect some stragglers to try and push the opposite side. So that's why I'm here, to try and spot them, catch them off guard, see if we can get any punish them as they cross in. Things like this bat chat. Unfortunately, the bat chat has already got into position. But we essentially, we've got quite a few tanks here with us. So we want to try and push them out from this position if possible, and then try and get behind the enemy team. We spot this passing 120 ton, and we managed to get one shot into them there without losing our without getting detected in return. It kind of looks like it's going to keep going, so we managed to get a second shot in, starting this game with just shy of 900 hit points, and still got all our hit points remaining, so a decent start to the game. But I can see that there's not a lot of tanks with that pattern there, so we're going to just try and push and close the distance now, because the enemy team do look like they are potentially winning the other side. So I want to try and make sure we at least win this side as quickly as possible. So as I'm pushing, I'm looking to see that there is a heavy tank on my right. I'm hoping maybe I can come around and get the finishing kill on that tank, and just sort of take out that side as quickly as possible. But as we do that, we spot this enemy Chinese TD, and we manage to get one shot into them there. So there could be some more tanks potentially with this Chinese tank destroyer, because we are getting detected. So I suspect that there is something else there. So now I've lost my spot, I'm going to try and move over and see if we can light them up, because we do have a lot of enemy team with us on this side of the map, and we are losing the other side of the map. So I really don't want to get caught into a situation where the enemy team win the other side and then push around on us, so we're surrounded because we haven't won this side of the map and we've lost the other side of the map. So what I basically want to do is try and win this side of the map as quickly as I possibly can, trying to get my gun into it, try and keep them spotted, so that if we, even if we lose the other side, we can then just use this side and reverse the map on the enemy team. Because otherwise, the worst case scenario here is that we get stuck in a situation where I'm still fighting these tanks in front of us and having to fight tanks from behind us, because we really will be in an awkward situation. So I'm trying to poke and just kill this tank destroyer. We've got him down onto a 2-shot. Unfortunately, they're being very difficult for me to take out at the moment. I probably should just swap to heat, because I know it's important I kill the tank, and then I could go straight through the superstructure without having to risk bouncing. But it does prevent an opportunity for us to get the kill in there. Now we use that mountain to try and get high enough to get the shot in, and now we have put them onto a 1-shot. But the enemy team is starting to come behind us, so we need to push over. But thankfully my team are making the push, which allows me to try and poke up and get this kill shot in. Annoyingly, I bounce it. That's probably why I should have loaded the heat. I would have gone straight through the superstructure and killed that tank there. But thankfully I don't eat any damage in return, so I might get another opportunity to take this tank out. We look for the kill shot, but it gets taken out by our friendly Valor, which gives us freedom to move up into this ridge. But then we spotted the enemy Sturv on this ridge. I've definitely got to take out this tank. I can't allow that tank just to sit here. We get one in through the track, trying to track him into place. It turns for us, but we can actually pen the cupola from this angle, we do, and I need to remove this tank as quickly as possible because that way I can try and use this ridge to fight for the enemy team. It looks like our friendly heavy tank's going around to deal with that Sturv. I keep an eye out just to make sure he doesn't poke and get a shot into us, but I've got kind of bigger problems in front of me as well now because the enemy tank's pushed round. But now that enemy tank Sturv has been destroyed, I'm actually in a really good position to deal with these heavy tanks, and this is exactly why I wanted to win this side of the map as quickly as I could, because now I'm not having to worry about getting shot from the tanks on the left. I can just put my full attention in killing these heavy tanks who are pushed round into the open. We get a nice couple of shots into that IS-7 there. We try to keep them tracked in place, but then with this IS-4 pokes out, we put another shot into them, putting them onto a 2-shot potentially for us. The enemy TVP pushes round, and you can see we've got perfect covering from this situation. It's difficult for the enemy team to get shots into us here because we can keep pushing round, and this is where I just want to keep this gun firing as quickly as much as I can. We're looking to see if we can get an E5. That's not going to happen, but the TVP sort of false-ended round, so we get another shot into the TVP, putting them onto a 1-shot, and then they get taken about by our teammates. We look for a shot in the back chat. Unfortunately, we do miss that shot. More than 5,000 damage here, 2,000 assistance with 5 tanks remaining. The IS-4 has made a move, and we managed to get 1 shot into them, through the back of the tank as they leave. And then we got an opportunity to kill this back chat. We get 1 in and finish off the back chat, and hopefully we can get another shot into the IS-4, but they just get undetected. But then they fire, and I don't know why I fired too low there. I should have fired a bit higher, but which is a shame. I might have got another cheeky kill in, but it's put us under 6,000 damage, 2 kills, and I've still cupped all my hit points at this point, so I'm fairly confident we're going to be able to go and get this victory now. I didn't want to fight there because they're looking at us, and we're in a medium. We can outmaneuver these tanks. I'm just going to come behind them, and hopefully they're not paying attention, and I'll be set up in an easier place to get shots into them, and hopefully I can pick up a little bit more damage before this game comes to an end. So as I go around, like I say, hopefully they're still looking at the tanks in front. We've got 2 different angles in this tanks now, so it's an awkward situation. We go 1 for the Yagi 100. Probably realistically should have shot the E5 because it would have put them onto a 1-shot. We can eat a shot quite happily off of this E5, and we do, but we get 1 in for a turn and they get taken out. And now it's just about trying to get as much damage into this Yagi 100 and puts on to 7,300. We're still most of our hit points. We can just sit in front of this IS-7. We're going to win this DPM race all day now, and it is not. There's only 2 tanks remaining, so we just want to get as many shots as we can. We get that 1 in, putting us into 8,200 damage. Hopefully we might be able to pick the kill up here, and that pretty much brings us an end to this game. We're not going to get over there to get the last tank, but yeah, that is it for this replay, and an end to the video. So let's just see how we got on. We managed to pick up 3 kills, 8,200 damage, 2,000 assistance, and yeah, ace tanker, high caliber. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your support, and happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!